Hello, beautiful friends. It's such a treat to be with you. Happy 4/4/26, which is a funny date because I put it in my calendar as 4/4/26, save the date, a celebration of love. So I would just like to celebrate everyone who's been watching on this channel, everybody who has been being present with their own emotions. You are so brave to cry when you need to cry. You are so brave to ask for your needs when they come up. You are so brave to be truthful, to stand in the embodiment of the woman, the man, the human, the starseed, the being that you are. Thank you. Thank you. This is my loving celebration of you. And I know for myself, this 4/4 feels very much like a portal, which often they are, but it feels like a portal of union, inner union with self, celebration of one's own ability and divinity to create their own magic in this beautiful world. We are doing it. We're creating heaven on earth, and this is a time of prophecy that is actively coming into being. So today I wanted to step aside both for myself and for the collective at large, especially for the feminine. We have been doing such incredible work of standing more and more into our hearts and more into the vibration of what feels good for us and not allowing any other timeline to exist. I remember this fall I had a friend just say, you don't have to go down to that. You don't have to meet them there. If they can't meet you up there, then it's not a deal. And I love that as an offering of, I don't want to participate in a world of fear. My favorite poet, Andrea Gibson, said this beautiful quote in the movie, I believe it's called See Me in the Good Light. And they said, whatever it is, just call it love. Just name it love, right? So I've been sitting with that so much, and I may have mentioned this in another video, but it really has been sitting with me so much. If we can just really take this step back and see that all that is in being, all that is love at its core essence, all right? Grief, love, fear, love. All of these things are all a part of the encompassing vibration of love, all right? So, messages for the Divine Feminine today that I brought through are actually really quite beautiful. So for myself, there's been this honoring of the inner child, honoring of the child self. I've heard this referred to, I guess I've heard this referred to as ageless codes or timeless codes. These things are going through, and it's something I've always been acutely aware of, even when I was as a child. It was almost like I could go back and visit my child self and comfort them during these like greater times. And I offer you to go offer your current consciousness to your inner child, like go back into a memory and try to be with them there. Take an interruption and just really harmonize. Let them know that it's all going to be all right, even when it feels not, and see how that changes your vibration. Now, the spread I did was a little unusual. I just kind of asked for like what messages can I bring forward that can encourage the feminine at this time. So the pillar of this reading, so what we're bringing in on both sides here, is the 7 of crystals, so the 7 of pentacles, and 11, internal stillness, okay? This comes from the Wisdom of the Wild Things Oracle, and this is the inner child cards. Now, what I'm seeing with both of these cards is they're both in winter. They are both women doing sacred ritual, being embodied. This almost feels like the ritual right before the embodiment, okay? These cards are really meant to access the subconscious, and these cards are really meant to access the whimsy of the inner child and help the inner child heal. So what I really see here is this like great intention setting that we can do to really align with our heart's desires. I got a really strong image today to really sit down with the pillars of what sacred union is for me and how I want to call in and cultivate that so that I'm cultivating sacred relationship with all, so that I can bring in sacred union with my beloved other. Now for me, sacred union comes down to two terms, and it comes actually from a quote from a movie called My Old Ass, where this young girl asks her future self, how do I know what true love is? And the future self corrects her and says, healthy love is safety and freedom all at once. So for me, as I cultivate these union codes, I'm really tuning in what are the core values and what do I need to feel free? What do I need to feel safe? And really getting specific and clear on that in myself so that I can cultivate a loving relationship going forward, and be really excited about what that is and who that's with. So this feels like that setting of standards, that embodying of the dream internally, right? And this feels like the external manifestation of it, or even the way that, like, it's, oh, look at this. She's inside of the cabinet here. So again, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is how your higher self, your higher, wiser self connects to this other part. This is your soul and this is your physical body, okay? And they are working together in unison right now. So take this time. We're also, I think Easter's tomorrow, so we're in this like resurrection energy. So let's really use this to be intentional and clear about what it is that we're bringing forward. We are bringing forward this Christ consciousness, right? This heart-centered way of being so that we can enact and embody in the world. All right, so this, the next few cards I got were really interesting. So this is more of just kind of like where we're at and how we can work with the energies that present itself. Okay, so here, I love this guy. What a sexy, sexy man he is. But here we have like a centaurian man. So someone who's really embodied, being with the earth, is maybe a little like more rustic. This is the Emperor card. It's also called the Forest Lord, which I really love because I'm definitely that of a forest person. All right, then we have the Ace of Challenges or the Ace of Swords, okay? So these cards coming through together are really cutting through the illusion of the masculine, is what I hear. Cutting through the illusion of the physical world and really embodying this like union consciousness, okay? This is going through. I'm going to ask a couple more cards because I want a little more clarity on how these things are working together. It is funny because I was doing a reading just for the feminine, and but 2 cards fell out, and every time I've been asking a question. Okay, so what is the bridge with these things going on right now? What do they want us to know? Okay, 9 of Pentacles. Okay, we just got this the other day, so we're back at this 9 of Pentacles. So the bridge between these cards is 9 of Pentacles. Okay, so cutting through the illusion because the feminine is here she has planted, she holds the seeds, she holds the codes. She's been planting the codes. And they're starting to come to fruition. They're coming into harvest, okay? Now, you wouldn't pick a rotten fruit. Oh, okay, and this is significant too. And I called out this even yesterday of this white bird, right? Okay, so this is picking the seed or picking the harvest that cuts through the illusion and embodies the nourishment, okay? Because if you're going to do alchemy, you only want to pick the best ingredients, and you want to work with the ingredients they're most aligned with spirit. All right, I want another card on this because I feel like there's such ripe information that's wanting to come through. Okay, the Fool. Okay, so we've gotten this again. This is the new beginning, new beginning, new beginning. This is all we've been hearing lately. The Fool, the new beginning, all right? Really opening up to this playfulness, this embodied consciousness that means like I've got like cedar in my hair right now. I went dressed as a magical elf, and I was like, wow, I'm living my fairy tale as an elf princess, right? I'm working with children. I'm embodying their creativity. We're working hand in hand. I live in an enchanted cabin in the woods. It's so wonderful to be embodying the fairy tale, right? But there's this new beginning that wants to be born. I've been contemplating fairy tales all day long and just really thinking about the codes that they offer us up to the point that we enter union, in which case we enter the uncharted territory. But the path to love is not linear. Sometimes we're going back into the seedlings of the fairy tale so that we can go back, so we can seed a deeper union and move forward on that path. But sometimes you have to move back into some of the alchemy. And eventually you integrate all that, and then you just go into the uncharted territory. But what I'm really seeing is just like most of the stories with the princesses involve them sobbing over a lost parent, a lost dream, an expectation that was taken away suddenly, mistreatment, malnourishment. These women are sobbing, and they're so pure of heart. Like, all they're doing is being in service and offering and offering and offering, and they're getting so little back for themselves. Their self-care is so limited. And then for some reason, whatever, usually they're thrown out into the world, or they're locked into a tower. So they're having to do a process of internal calibration or external calibration with the internal work. Sometimes, like in Snow White's case, that still involved it still involves, well, most of the princesses, it still involves acts of service, but it's how they alchemize those acts of service, because again, they usually get thrown out of there because they can't stay in these safe little retreats anymore. We're meant to move out into the world. We're meant to shine our radiance, to be in this. So this is all coming through very strongly, right? But if we really look at those fairy tales, like, I just have this image of Snow White going through the terrifying forest, and, you know, all of these things kind of happening. And it's not an easy journey. It's hard to recalibrate with that self and re-find that true point of safety. And that is what we've been doing, right? And now it's like we're starting to step out of the world, and we're using this discernment that we've cultivated through everything that we've been learning. And here we are, all right? So, yes, so really I feel like it's cutting through illusion, cutting through the illusion of the physical world, and getting to the truth and to the values of what it is that really wants to be curated. And I do think that there's like this healthy emperor energy, right? This is not a man who's desecrating the earth. This is one who's living with the earth, in harmony with the earth, which tells me he's living in harmony with the mother. He's moving in flow with the feminine. What I also see with this pig, this also usually means a confrontation, all right? So what I think that this is cutting through the BS of the physical world, of the illusionary, like any sort of way that we're not sharing truths, all right, and confronting them and saying, hey, I see you in this. I won't allow this to occur again. The confrontation comes in harvesting the best fruit, all right? You want to eat well, all right, the Fool. And this is our new beginning. The new beginning is communication that is no different than this, embodiment that is no different than this. Okay, again, I still feel like one more card wants to go through. I still have 4 more cards to read that I already pulled. All right, one more card to kind of solidify this message in before we move to the next ones. Okay, again, we have the Ace of Swords, okay? So we're still, and then I pull up the bottom card in the Emperor, okay? So I basically just did the same draw, all right? So we're still working with this Ace of Swords and Emperor, Ace of Swords and Emperor, okay? He's still thinking about playing the game the old way, and it's like she's bringing light to, like, that's not how we play the game anymore. We play the game through enlightenment. We play the game through truth. We play the game through being in a conscious spiral, in a deliberate dance that we're moving through together. And she's embodied in this. She also has a nose ring, and I've been thinking about getting my nose pierced. I wonder if that's a sign. Very exciting stuff. Okay. Next we move into the physical manifestation energies, okay, and I actually drew 3. These 2 popped out together, and then this was the bottom one that really wanted to be seen as well. So I feel like this is kind of more of the encouragement for the feminine and what we're moving to. And again, you know, we had the centaur guy, and then we have this man on a horse, which to me feels like representative of like being able to create healthy boundaries between the wild self, the free self, and the safe self, you know, because you can't just be like wild and out there. So that is all, like, I mean, you can be wild and out there, but to cultivate and to curate and balance, that doesn't always sustain. Okay, so we drew this card the other day. We have the 4 of Pipes to me, which just feels like 4/4. This feels like the portal energy. So this card came out directly under this Ace card. And what I see with these 2 kind of going together is, it wasn't supposed to be a reading for the masculine and feminine, but, you know, again, I think the feminine sometimes balance through understanding what the masculine is going through. Okay, so again, by embodying the truth, by cutting to the core chase, I think we had a card too with the masculine and the arrow. It's like hitting the bullseye spot on. Through doing this is how we achieve union, women, ladies, feminine, whoever is listening. If you want union, you must embody your truth. If you want to be harmony, to build a house together, both people have to be standing in their own truth, in their own vibration of love. And I see this. I love this idea of building a house together, okay? Because you can't build a house on unstable foundations, and you can't build a house with a broken contractor. You both have to be able-bodied and like ready to move and to put the pillars in forth that are sturdy. And I love this. Look, the four beams. They're implementing 2 more beams, which comes over here to the 6 of bowls, which is the same as the 6 of cups. And again, we drew this card the other day as well. All right, so we're seeing this masculine connecting to his inner radiance, connecting to his inner goddess, connecting to his beloved externally. All right, we're seeing that. I think it's just like he feels her in his heart, and the more we beam out love, not only to our beloved but to the world as whole, the more the world heals. People feel it. Your essence is enough. I have gone from being like a really intense performer where I was always trying to prove my worth and make it in the room, and I was working hard for it, and I got laughs and I got things. But now I understand that I don't actually have to do that. I can play that hard if I want to, but ultimately it's about me showing up in the room. I had somebody say, you're not funny because of what you say, you're funny because of who you are. And to me, that's really, which kind of sounds like an LA compliment, but to me it really is about this essence of embodying all that I am and embracing and loving it. Okay, so, and then the third card that came out was the Chariot. So if we're moving with these 2 energies, if the masculine is doing his self-work, he's doing his prayer work, he's doing his inner alignment, he's connecting with nature, the rhythms of it, is really looking internal and healing the parts of with him that have been hurt in the past, where he's healing his broken heart. He's healing parent wounds. All of this is going on right now. And as the pairs do this, as the feminine stands in her power, as the masculine heals the parts where he's not showing up in integrity, we move with the warrior, okay? This is the Chariot card. And we have this white bird here again. So we see the combination, and there's no pig here, but we see the combination of these cards coming forward. We see the combination of these cards coming forward, right? With the Chariot, this means movement. And he's even holding the arrow from this, all right? So this to me shows that the masculine is accepting the truth, and he's embracing the truth, and he's saying, I've got it. I feel it now. Oh, I've got a hole in my sweater. Hey, I've got it. I feel it now. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. And I feel this all-encompassing rainbow feels significant back to the prayer work that the feminine is intentionally doing it in this intentional stillness at this time. Okay, so last card that I drew, the medicine and the encouragement for the female right now is love, is rose. This is basically that, Ace of Cups, or 2 of Cups card. This is, 2 hands really holding each other. It's holding it through the thickets, through the things. How interesting. Look, we also have here, we have the arrow and we have the dove. Okay, so as the feminine holds with this truth, sends these truth arrows through the heart, that is what captures the heart and allows the alchemy to start occurring so that it moves both of them closer and closer together. This is really beautiful and significant for many reasons, because dove is spirit. This white bird is coming to represent a real embodiment of truth for us, right? This arrow is cutting through the illusions, is really getting to the core. This isn't harming the heart. This is activating the union. And it might look like harm on the surface, sometimes those words cut deep, as they say, and I think that that is a practice for us as we move intentionally with our language. You speak of the world that you would create. That doesn't mean you can't digest what's going on. It takes a while sometimes for the full being to show up physical, and sometimes you've got to go back a little bit to share what it is that you're seeing forward so that you can calibrate in the moment of this is what's showing up, this is what I'm seeing. But I see real true union coming here, coming forward. I really see this embodiment of love. I really feel that April is going to be this very significant and powerful month for so many of us. We are going to be different people by the end of this month. And by different people, I mean we are going to be embodying the souls, embodying our wholes. That sounded weird, but got into a weird poetal trance there. But embodying our wholeness, and hopefully coming into more union. I'm not just hopeful for that. I feel it. I know for my own, it doesn't feel like optimism anymore. It feels like embodied awareness. And maybe that's just the union that is experienced within, but I feel confident that we are moving forward. So let me know how your journey's going. I tend to go in bursts in these when I'm home and I'm grounded. I'm going to try to post a little more regularly, but I'm also just going to honor my own flow and what comes up. These readings are just as beneficial for me as they are you, and that's kind of why I started doing them. I was just sitting alone in my mountain cabin and doing readings and just reading cards and asking questions, and why not share that? It feels good to be sharing. It feels good to be activating my heart space to whoever wants to listen. And I thank you all for those who do. And I wish you many blessings on this wild journey. Please reach out if you'd like to connect, prismhealers@gmail.com. And I look forward to seeing you, chatting with you, and continuing to share with you. Aho.